At night, a young couple is being affectionate. Zhang thinks Xiao Huan is an amazing person. He makes up for his shortcomings. He's willing to do anything for him. He always looks at him with loving eyes. Tonight is another sleepless night. Xiao Huan calls out Lo Zhang's name. He says he's not going anywhere because he's his Omega. Zhang says, "Fang, how can you talk to me like that?" But then a car accident happened. Xiao Huan is badly injured, saving Ji. Sean looks at the mangled Xiao Huan. His pupils constrict sharply. Tears stream down his face as he calls out to Xiao. 7 days later, in the hospital, Xiao Huan's fingers tremble slightly. He slowly opens his eyes. He finally wakes up. Zhang hears the news and runs over in slippers. He pushes the door open and sees Xiao Huan sitting on the hospital bed. He's looking out the window. Zhang is so happy that Xiao Huan woke up. He rushes over and hugs Xiao Huan tightly. "You don't know how scared I was. Scared you'd never wake up." He says Xiao Huan was out for a week. The doctor said such a serious accident only caused a mild concussion. It's truly a miracle. The doctor also said Alphas recover fast, but he couldn't wait for Xiao Huan to wake up. He was really terrified. But Xiao Huan shows an impatient expression. He shoves Zhang's hand away. He says, "What are you doing?" He coldly tells Zhang to stay away from him. The Omega smell on him is disgusting. Zhang doesn't understand Xiao Huan's change. The doctor tells Zhang that Xiao Huan has lost his memory. He's forgotten nearly 5 years of med. Zhang asks if he can be recovered. The doctor says physical trauma is the main cause. Now it's better to let him focus on recovering physically. Zhang feels it's all because of him. He nods guiltily. "No, I can't fall apart." Xiao Huan must be even more confused than me. The doctor also says to make sure he gets enough sleep. Xiao Huan sits on the hospital bed wondering why he's in the hospital. What's with these bandages? He looks at the Omega outside the door. "Is that little guy my fiancé?" He watches Zhang, thanking the doctor with teary eyes. Then Zhang comes in. Xiao Huan thinks this face actually matches his taste. "Thirsty? I'll get you water." Xiao Huan finds Zhang very ordinary. Thin. No muscle. More importantly, he's an Omega. How could he be with someone like this? Then he speaks up. "Hey, what's your name?" "Lo Shui. Just call me Zhang. Don't worry too much about the memory loss. It'll come back soon." Zhang says with tears, they'll work through this together. But Xiao Huan thinks his dad actually used his brain this time. Then he tackles Zhang. He grabs Zhang's neck hard. He tells him to stop, yeah? He also asks Zhang how much money he got for this kind of scheme. Yinhuan has lost his memory. He thinks Zhang was sent by his dad. Now he's choking Jun and asking how much money he got for this scheme. Zhang answers no. "Then I'll check and find out." Zhang struggles, saying don't. Yinhuan covers Zhang's mouth. He pulls open his collar. He sees the hickeys on his collarbone. Yinhuan demands what these hickeys are about. "Didn't you say I was in a coma for a week, and you still say you're not a hustler?" He grabs Zhang's arm tightly. "Stop it." Zhang pushes Yinhuan away hard. Eyes are blurry with tears as he looks at him. Yinhuan's breath catches. He sits to the side, irritated. Zhang gets up and pulls his clothes tight, saying, "You did this." Yinhuan looks at Jun, confused. "These marks are from a week ago when you did this." Then Zhang says he needs to get some air and runs out. Yinhuan watches Zhang's back. He mutters, "I did this." Today after eating, Xiaoyang's hands tremble as he peels an apple. Yinhuan has a helpless and annoyed expression. Yinhuan says Zhang is really clingy. Why is he still here? After being treated like that yesterday, Zhang flinches, startled by him. Yinhuan looks at his cut hand and says, "Zhang, can't even peel food. Are you sure you're here to take care of me?" Zhang covers his hand, speechless. Then he opens the first aid kit. He says Yinhuan always did the cooking. Before, when he wanted to do something, like peel fruit, if he got hurt, Yinhuan would rush over to check on him. Zhang smiles, saying back then Yinhuan looked so worried. They really loved each other back then. Yinhuan asks, "Loved each other?" Then Zhang should know how much he hates Omegas. Not only does he despise them, he really hates his father for treating him like a breeding stud. There's no way he could love an Omega. He doesn't feel anything for Zhang. Zhang remembers Yinhuan's confession to him before. He smiles blissfully. Then he smiles and looks down, saying he suddenly remembered the past. Yinhuan thinks he's lost it. Zhang says with a smile, "It feels like falling in love with you all over again." Yinhuan looks at him and says, "Don't say things I can't understand." Then the doctor comes in. He speaks up to interrupt. Patients can't bully their guardians. Then the doctor comes over and shakes hands with Zhang. He says, "How have you been holding up? Thanks for all your hard work." Zhang answers, "It's not hard. It's what I should do." The doctor wants to ask about the patient's condition. Yinhuan shouts Lu Zhang's name. He says he's hungry. He tells Zhang to go out and buy him an orange cake. Zhang looks confused and asks cake. Yinhuan hands over a black card. He thinks the bakery is about a 30-minute walk. Seeing Zhang hesitate, Yinhuan slams the table asking if Zhang is going or not. Zhang quickly agrees, saying, "I'll go buy." The doctor watches Zhang leave. Yinhuan interrupts. "Hey, what are you staring at?" It turns out Yinhuan and the doctor are high school classmates. The doctor asks Yinhuan what he's freaking out about. Then he unwraps Yinhuan's bandages. The doctor complains that the car was totaled. "You idiot, you got off with just these injuries. You're really lucky." Yinhuan says he doesn't remember. He doesn't feel uncomfortable anyway. It's just that his vision is blurry. The doctor tells him to look in the mirror. He sees a big wound above his eyebrow that's already been stitched up. The doctor says debris got in his eye and damaged the retina. But he didn't completely lose his vision. But that's cheap compared to your boyfriend's life. "What do you mean? Did I get hurt saving that Omega?" The doctor tells Yinhuan to stop bullying innocent Juan, or he'll regret it later. Yinhuan doesn't believe it. He says Zhang is just acting. The doctor only just met him today too, right? The doctor disinfects roughly, saying it's because Yinhuan kept Zhai hidden before and wouldn't let him see him. He says he knows Yinhuan is like that because of pheromone rejection symptoms. But Zhaian is different. Before he lost his memory, Yinhuan said he was very happy. Don't call him to places like this again. Yinhuan feels a sharp pain in his head. He covers his head and tells the doctor to stop saying weird things. The doctor tries to talk sense into him. He tells the doctor to get out. The doctor can only tell him to figure it out himself. Yinhuan holds his head. He remembers before when he came into contact with Omegas, he felt awful nauseous. His father kept arranging people for him. He despised it. Xiaohuan Yinhuan. Yinhuan snaps out of it. He suddenly grabs Zhang's hand. Sorry. Did I scare you? I came back and saw you sitting there looking drowsy and uncomfortable. Yinhuan takes the cake. He holds the cake and says you told Zhang to scare him. Zhang quickly apologizes. Then he asks what's wrong with Yinhuan's eye color. Yinhuan climbs onto the bed to look. He asks worriedly if he can really be discharged this week. Yinhuan stops Zhang from checking. He tells him to get down. In the scuffle, Shu slips. He falls onto Yinhuan. Sorry. Damn. They both blush and look at each other. Zhang accidentally falls into Yinhuan's arms. Yinhuan swallows as he looks at Zhang. Hey, no Zhang and I. Sorry. I'll get up now. As Zhang gets up, he notices Yinhuan has a reaction. Yinhuan says, you and I slept together before, right? Yinhuan wants to do something special. But then someone knocks on the door to tell him his father is here. Yinhuan can only shove Zhang under the covers. While letting his father in, Chairman Yin comes in and calls out to Yinhuan. He sees the scene. Zhang straightens himself up and stands obediently to the side waiting for them to talk. Zhang thinks so this is Yinhuan's father. Yinhuan doesn't like his dad, so he's never met him before. Their auras are completely different. Then Chairman Yin looks over too. The accidental eye contact startles Zhang. Chairman Yin says Yinhuan lost his memory, but he's still messing around with this Omega. Hey, so this Omega is also one you sent to spy on me. Isn't that a good sign? Chairman Yin thinks Yinhuan really forgot the last 5 years. This is actually a good thing. Chairman Bai from Old Foods is planning an arranged marriage. Now's the chance to get rid of him. This idiot wasting time on feelings that can be lost so easily. Chairman Yin says Zhang is a low-grade Omega. Weak constitution, better suited for warming the bed at night. Full get producing quality alphas. He probably can't even get pregnant. So he's not an Omega father sent. Right, he's an Omega you met on a one-night stand, isn't he, Lo Yiji? Zhang is silent for a moment, then says, that's right, but it's not like that. He thinks Xiaohuan should know. The Xiaohuan he knows would definitely deny it. But the amnesiac Yinhuan says Liu Zhang lied. Didn't you say before you weren't a hustler? Zhang wrings his hands. Yinhuan looks angrily at Zhang with his head down. Chairman Yin smokes and says Yinhuan can finally think clearly. What luck? The smoke makes Zhang cough. Yinhuan watches Zhang coughing. He snatches away father's cigarette, saying, Father, don't you know there's no smoking here? Father thinks Yinhuan still has no manners. He says to make him go on a blind date right after he's discharged. He found him several purebred Omegas. Yinhuan refuses, saying he won't go. He's sick of Omegas. Chairman Yin expected this. He says if Yinhuan goes on the blind date, he'll make Yinhuan the head of the electronics division. Yinhuan agrees. Hearing Yinhuan agrees, Zhang pauses. He looks up at Yinhuan in shock. Yinhuan changes clothes and says not to delay. Set the date. He'll be discharged today. Chairman Yin says Friday night at 8 p.m. at Hachak's hotel. He tells Yinhuan not to be late. He leaves without giving Zhang a second glance. Yinhuan says Jouyang worked hard. They might have been a real couple. But right now, he doesn't have any feelings for Xi Aim, the electronics division. He's wanted it since high school. With the electronics division, he can take down father. So Lazan, let's break up. I don't like you. There's no need to give up such a valuable opportunity for you. Zhang remembers Yinhuan saying before that as long as Zhang is here, he can't get it this way. Zhang breaks into a smile. Zhang takes the clothes Yinhuan is packing. Let me do it. You're being discharged today, right? Yinhuan looks at Jin and says, didn't you hear me? I said, let's break up. Zhang says he heard. He finishes packing the suitcase and answers, let's break up. Yinhuan looks irritated again. But if you get your memory back, call me anytime. I'll be waiting for you. Zhang puts on his back. He says with a smile he's leaving now. He'll go handle the discharge first. Take care, Xiaohuan. Yinhuan thinks why is Zhang smiling like an idiot. He's annoying to the end. After Zhang leaves, he sits in a shabby stairwell. He didn't take much money when he moved out. He thinks maybe Xiaohuan forgetting him is actually a good thing. He doesn't deserve the beautiful life they had before. Everything just went back to square one. Nothing's changed. Then two thugs spot him. Zion turns to look. Two creeps start harassing Zion. They ask if Zion is looking for someone. Zion says they're mistaken. He wonders if his pheromones leaked, but he definitely took suppressants. The creep gets close to Zion, saying no way they're mistaken. The scent is so good. After Zhang and Yinhuan broke up, poor Zion ran into two thugs. Zion trembled, telling the thug to stop. The thug didn't listen, so he punched him, knocked him out cold. The other thug came to check what happened, then ran off real quick. Zion quietly hid behind the door after the two thugs left. Why? Just to be safe. He decided to wait a bit before he pulled out his phone and saw his stepfather afraid of losing the sponsorship. Wanted Zhang to go back and beg Yinhuan. Zhang looked at his stepfather's messages, then sadly hugged himself, thinking he was just back to square one. Meanwhile, Yinhuan was sleeping at home, not sleeping well at all. He dreamed of wandering around as a kid looking for his nanny. Little Yinhuan was burning up. His body felt awful, wondering where his nanny went. He had a fever. It hurt so bad, and he kept smelling something weird. Little Yinhuan could barely hold on. Kid, are you okay? You're burning up. This scent is it differentiation. Little Yinhuan slightly opened his eyes. It smelled so good. A boy was holding him. The boy asked if he was awake, said he was an Omega. He looked like an alpha, so he released his pheromones for him. Then he'd go find an adult to help. Little Ying Huang grabbed the boy and held him tight, told him not to leave or he'd kill him. The boy agreed. He was planning to take Ying Huang to find his parents anyway. The boy told Ying Huang to get close to his neck. That way he wouldn't sense other pheromones. Ying Huang held the boy tight, thinking this Omega was his. Then when Ying Huang's family found him, he still looked at the boy thinking, "You're my Omega, you're mine." Ying Huang lay in bed, hearing his family say he was already marked. Must have been during differentiation. He had close contact with an Omega nearby. Unless that Omega died, there was no way to undo it. So grown up in Han as the Ying family heir had Omega rejection syndrome. Any Omega would get driven away by him. People gossiped that if he couldn't have kids, his illegitimate brother would take his position as heir. Even his heat partner was a beta. And then some old creep asked Ying if he was looking for a beta big woman. Ying Huang said he didn't like old men. The creep said he just wanted to introduce someone to Ying Huang, said his son was gorgeous. Ying Huang would definitely like him. Ying Huang thought with the old creep looking like that, how good could his son be? But when the old creep opened his phone to show a photo, Ying Huang thought he looked like his mom. Asked the old creep if he was a beta. What about his consent? The old creep said he was a beta, and he liked any guy. Ying Huang warned the old creep not to lie. He didn't like forcing people. When the time came, it wouldn't just be about tormenting his son. The old creep said, "Don't worry, that wouldn't happen." Ying Huang sighed, wondering why everyone was in such to sell out their own stuff. Ying Huang gave a time and place, told him not to be late. The old creep saw and quickly started pitching his project. Ying Huang arrived at the hotel, but he was still hesitating about meeting Joyan. He thought Joyan was his type. But Jun's father really annoyed him. He wondered, what if John had the same personality as his dad? Just thinking about it was irritating. Should I just go home? It's not like I can't find a bed partner. While he was thinking, the elevator arrived. Ying Huang held the elevator door. Whatever, I'm already here. Might as well meet him once. Then he saw someone with a backpack standing at the room door. Shana held the key card, clutching his books and looked over and saw Ying Huang. After seeing Ying Huang, he jumped in surprise and immediately turned away. Ying Huang got interested, walked right up to Zhan, reached out with his key card to open the door, asked Zhan if he wasn't going in. In the room, Ying Huang stared at Zhao, thinking that book wasn't a lifeline. Why hold it so tight? His susceptible period was coming soon. He kept getting hot. It was suffocating. He took Zhan's book away, asked why Zhan was so nervous. He wasn't going to eat him. Ying Huang tossed the book aside. Paul Zhan said he heard from Zhaitan's father that as long as it's a guy, Zhan liked him. Ying Huang rubbed Zhan's lips. God, so beautiful. Ying Huang said even if Zhan was a bit nervous, he should have dating experience. Told Zhan to treat it like they came here to do it. Zhan answered, yeah. Ying Huang said not to judge him by how he looked. He wouldn't drug anyone. Told Zhayan to relax. Yeah, Ying Huang heard another yeah. He asked, puzzled, if that's all he could say. Zhan immediately said, yeah himself and said. Ying Huang told Zhan if he didn't want to, 要说三叶频道后，他做 it should be okay, right? Zhayan blushed and nodded, saying, then turned and said he was going to shower. Ying Huang appeared right there. Zhayan fell onto the bed like a startled squirrel. Ying Huang said Zhayan had a mole on his chest, asked if he had any elsewhere. Zhayan said, blushing, there should be one down there. Ying Huang reached down there, lifted his hand to look at the liquid. Zhayan shyly watched what he was doing. Zhayan wanted to explain. Ying Huang said Zhayan looked so innocent, but came prepared. Then he didn't need to loosen him up. Yin took off his clothes. Good, even though he was in his susceptible period. It'd be a bit hard, but he tried to make Zhayan feel good. Zhayan suddenly hiccuped. Ying Huang noticed that, asked what that reaction was. Had he never seen one like his? Told Zhayan not to be nervous, relax. He'd make Zhayan happy. In the morning, in the hotel room, Ying Huang was still having sweet dreams. Then he reached over for June. Nothing there. Looking at the empty room, Zhayan was already gone. Ying Huang said Zhayan ditched him and ran. Serious. He acted like he didn't care, saying he could go if he wanted. He didn't miss him at all, while saying, not even a little. He found Zhayan's underwear. Left something like this behind. So careless. He reminisced. It'd been a while since he enjoyed it this much. Remembering last night, Zhayan was round like a hamster. Once definitely wasn't enough. Meanwhile, Zhayan was working hard. His phone rang. Zhayan picked up his phone to check the message. His stepfather was blaming him for not leaving contact info. Zhayan remembered his stepfather telling him to go out once, thinking about his mom's debt to his stepfather. He also said this was the last time. Zhayan opened the message, confused, and was totally shocked. His face turned red. Ying Huan sent this picture, saying he forgot to take this. It was Zhayan's underwear. Zhayan couldn't find it at the time, so he just ran. Ying Huan said if he wanted it back, come to the hotel tonight. Zhayan rushed though, thinking was he crazy? Why'd he leave it there? Zhayan got Ying Huan's message and rushed to the hotel to find him. You're here this early. Why aren't you dressed? Whatever, just give it back quick. Ying Huan smiled.
What? Oh, the underwear.
He pulled Zhayan into his arms, told Jun to play with him and he'd give it back. You enjoyed it that day too, right? Zhayan shyly wouldn't admit it. His hands tried to push Ying Huan away. Ying Huan smiled dotingly. Really didn't. They refused one more time and will never see each other again. Joyin remembered his father saying Yinhuan hated omegas, so he couldn't let him find out his identity. If they kept seeing each other, he'd be found out. But if his stepfather found out, they stopped. His stepfather would find him another alpha. And it really did feel good. He was gentle with me too. Maybe because he's a high-quality alpha. His pheromones are stable. Felt safe all day without suppressants. I want to feel that safe again. Am I too greedy? But if this man needs me too, it should be okay, right? Zhan asked, just tonight, right? 最好. Yinhuan thought it'd be best if he could keep going. Zhan stood on his toes and kissed him. Yinhuan agreed. Closed the door, saying for now, just tonight. Yinhuan looked at Zhan. After meeting him, he could sleep soundly and somehow felt at peace. Yinhuan started finding excuses to meet, like not knowing how much to water his plants, being lonely eating alone, deliberately making sure at some point he found excuses to meet even when he didn't need sleep. So getting used to each other happened in an instant. Today Zhan woke up sleepily, looking at Yinhuan, who also slept well, tucked the blanket into his arms, and quietly got up. Then started studying hard. Yinhuan woke up and immediately went to find Zhan, asked what Zhan was doing. You're not underage, are you? Relieved, Yinhuan said Zhan was older than him. Asked when Zhan wanted to apply. Zhan said Hanguk University. Yinhuan said he went to Hanguk University. He could tutor him. Zhuyan was thrilled. Looked at Yinhuan expecting. Really? Yinhuan was charmed by Zhayan's hopeful look. But he had one condition. Let's date. Dating me has no downside. It's no different from now. Just adds getting to know each other. Though it was half joking. It was a good way to not share. Juan with others. He thought with Zhayan's looks, he'd definitely attract a bunch of flies. But seeing Juan struggle so long, Yinhuan got a bit scared too. Juan refused. Because he still lied to Yinhuan that he was a beta. He said they hadn't known each other long. 再决定 let's meet 3 more times then decide. Why so wishy? Let's call them dates. But if you dare not show, you'll die. And so it began. Movie theater private screening date. Yinhuan thought about holding hands. Was Zhan touched? Zhan was thrilled. First time at a movie theater. Then amusement park private date. Zhan was happy too. Aside from work, first time here and no one else around. Super lucky. Now Yin sat in the recalling those memories. Today was their 3rd date. Yinhuan finally recognized Zhou Yan. He was the Omega from when he was little. Right now, he saw Zhuan outside getting stopped by someone. Hey, how dare they mess with my guy? Yinhuan appeared instantly. Hugged Zhuan, ready to curse. But the guy said Zhang Yin was in heat. He just wanted to help. Yinhuan looked down and saw Zhan really wasn't okay. Confused how a beta would have a heat cycle. Unless he was an Omega. Yinhuan brought Jian home. Smelling Zhuan's scent, Yinhuan remembered the Omega who helped him as a kid. This scent was the same as the one from childhood. He remembered the boy's face. That warm, fresh orange scent. The one who let go of my hand back then was you, my Omega. Yinhuan remembered his father asking about him and Zhan, told Yinhuan to cure his pheromone rejection and find a better Omega. He understood his father wanted to kill Lu Zhai with a blow of strength. His father wanted to set him up with Omega so badly, but dared to go after his Omega. No matter what, Yinhuan had to keep Zhuan by his side. Otherwise, just then Zhan woke up, panicking that his Omega identity was discovered. Yinhuan couldn't let Zhan run away like last time. He had to catch him first. Zhan apologized to Yinhuan. 在学校，学弟就除跟王天没有 sent out a dating request. He said he'd already marked Zhan not yesterday, but a long time ago. You've always been my type. I mocked you right after I differentiated. Zhan found it unbelievable. Yinhuan asked if you remember what happened when they were kids. Is it because of what happened back then that you're pretending not to remember? And Zhayan said he did recognize Yinhuan at first sight. But one-sided alpha marking is rare, so he didn't know. One-sided marking symptoms only appear in the one who marks. So that's where the pheromone rejection came from. Zhan felt terrible. Yinhuan said Zhan had nothing to apologize for. He's the one who fell for Zhan. If he really wants to make it up, just be with him. Zhan froze for a second, then smiled and agreed. Yinhuan said his father wouldn't let Zhan off, might even kill him. Zhan said it's okay, because Huan would protect him. That's why Yinhuan protected Zhan during the accident. Yinhuan suddenly woke up. I think I had a dream. Feels awful. Now Zhun sits nervously in the car. He glances at the person next to him. The man's reading documents seriously. Zhan feels suffocated. It started when Zhang was resting by the roadside. Someone woke Zhan up. Come with me, Aoyin Zai-en. Zhun had nowhere to go, so he followed. This guy looks a lot like Huan. Must be Huan's family. I broke up with Huan. What does he want with me? Is he really gonna kill me this time? The man reassured him not to be nervous. He's Yintian, Huan's older brother. He said he won't hurt Zhan. In fact, he wants to help him. Zhan asked why help him. He's not Han's lover anymore. The brother said first go to his place. If Zhayang gets hassled by other alphas, things get messy. You know this, right? Yin Huan won't easily let you go. He just lost his memory temporarily. And you think Yin Huan will come find you once he remembers, right? The brother said helping Zhai isn't out of kindness. Just for his own work. But it won't hurt Zhai. Just cooperate. Zhayang wondered what they need him for. If it affects Huan. Then the brother asked, does Zhayan know this place? It's the cafe on the first floor of Huan's company. The brother said Zhayan has lots of part-time experience. He wants Zhayan to work here starting tomorrow. It's temporary work, but should be good for you. because you can see Yin Huan every day. Hearing he could see Yin Huan, Zhang was tempted. The brother glanced at Zhang, then turned away. Today, Yin Huan came to the company. His assistant said after being away so long, there's a lot to do. He'll be there to help Yin Huan. Then he heard employees talking about the new part-timer at the cafe, saying he looks like a hamster holding cheese. Yin Huan got curious and wanted to check it out, thinking it'd be even better if it's his type. Then he said he's thirsty, heading to the cafe first. Listening to the assistant's nagging, Yin Huan told him to shut up. He saw Zhuan working at the counter, thinking, what's he doing here? Ex-boyfriend becomes the big boss. Let's see how Zhan handles his nitpicking. A customer came and ordered orange juice. Zhan asked anything else. Yin Huan said no. Zhan was shocked to see Yin Huan. He almost never came to the cafe himself before. Zhan took the black card and asked any points or discount coupons. Yin Huan said no. Zhan figured he shouldn't act too familiar with him. They broke up. After all, Zhan said when the buzzer goes off, come get it. Yin Huan angrily grabbed the black card back. Before, he acted like he couldn't live without me. Now he's completely cold. Then a text came in. It's from Zhai's stepfather asking for forgiveness. Yin Huan read the message. He misunderstood. Thought Zhai hanging around was to get benefits. He thinks Jaida and his stepfather are the same. Bad acting, huh? I don't know how much of a pushover you think I am, but I've got my own ideas. Yin Huan nitpicked for 7 straight days. Said the iced Americano's too bitter. Zhai explained Americanos are bitter. Then add syrup for me. Serve area and back. Yin Huan said he doesn't know how. Told Zhai to do it. Zhai couldn't figure out why Yin Huan came every day acting like a jerk. The manager said, because he's the new chairman. Told you not to provoke him. Zhai took the coffee. Yin Huan thought, what are you gonna do if you don't? Then he saw this. Zhai poured in a ton of sugar, smiling as he handed it to him. Then said sorry. There's another customer. Yin Huan could only fume alone. He scoffed and left the counter. Then the cafe owner from across the street came to poach Zhai. Said Zhai's good looking. Think about it. Zhai refused. Said he really likes it here. The guy even said he'd give Zhai a raise. Yin Huan came over looking grim. He snatched the business card away. Coming to someone else's company cafe to poach people. You got any morals? The guy argued Joshin's part-time. Wouldn't better benefits be good? Yin Huan elbowed him. Said even a guy like him wants to butt in. Then told Zhai to come be his secretary. 10 times the pay. Before Zhai could refuse, he just assumed Zhai agreed and left. At the elevator, Yin Huan stumbled. What's wrong with me? I actually pulled that Omega over myself. I've lost my mind. The man wants to be his brother's replacement, but the other guy's clutching cookies and refusing. I've got to have him. Zhai got back to where he's staying. After showering, he looked at the brother sitting in the living room reading documents seriously, thinking he not only looks like his dad, but also a bit like Juan. Personality is completely opposite though. How to put it? His aura, or his pheromones. Zhai thought about Juan's proposal. He should talk to the brother about it. Zhai hesitated, staring at the brother from behind. Though the brother asked if he had something to say, turned to Zhai and told him to come sit. Zhai hesitantly sat next to the brother. The brother handed Zhuan a bag of cookies and asked if it's about Yin Huan's proposal. Zhai said no, but more importantly, how do you know? The brother said for Zhai's safety, he had people watching him. Zhai can do whatever he wants about that. Zhai asked if this is also part of the deal with Juan. Can't tell me what the deal is. The brother said he's not hiding it on purpose. It's just a private matter, so he's not saying. You should have heard from Yin Huan. Father wants to kill you. If something happens while Yin Huan's protecting you, I'll protect you in his place. So until Yin Huan gets his memory back up, just think of me as Yin Huan's replacement. Zhang quickly held out cookies to block the brother's touch. Sign said he's gotta have Huan. Zhang said honestly, they love each other deeply. The brother said Yin Huan thinks the same way. Zhang told the brother to try dating, just like Huan did before. Former lovers become boss and subordinate. Pinned on the desk and questioned. You want to seduce me? Not assertive enough. Now Zhen's working in Yin Huan's office. The secretary saw Zhen and shot up from his seat. Mr. Zhen, hello. Secretary Kui, long time no see. Didn't think we'd meet again like this. Secretary Kui said he heard. I'm just doing my job. Can't go against the chairman's orders. Sorry. Zhen said he understands. It's fine. But why'd he call you back? Did something happen? Secretary Kui told Joanne to get settled first. Then noticed Yin Huan came up behind Joanne. Zhao Yang turned to look at Yin Huan. Seeing Yin Huan staring at him like that startled him. Hey, Huan. Hello, sir. The secretary told Zhai to come over. He'd show him where the break room is. Yin Huan started working too, but the headache has got worse. Should he call his doctor? Then he heard knocking. Told them to come in. Why is it you? John answered Secretary Kwai. Told him to bring it. Just doing useless stuff. He smelled something. Did John release pheromones? Asked if John came to please a sugar daddy, since he's the highest ranking person here. Xian wondered if these harsh words are Huan's defense mechanism against Omegas. Or does he really think that? If so, he'd really be hurt. Xian said he'll head out now. Yin Huan watched Xian about to leave. A sudden crash startled Xian. Yin Huan knocked over the cup. Stood up. Xian trembled in fear. Stop pretending. Getting all mopey over something like this. John froze hurt. Then apologized to Yin Huan and left. Zhuan at the door slid down to the floor. He remembered again the scene when Yin Huan got hurt. 和开胶 sitting on the floor of the jet 和开胶 Now's not the time to think about this. 开胶 pull yourself together 开胶 At least now he can work by Hong side 开胶 pumping him 想法开胶 saying it's a beautiful morning 开胶 The secretary nearby saw and said he'd take Ryan to his desk 开胶 The secretary told him to just sit here 开胶 Ryan thought since it's Huan's company 开胶 I gotta work hard and not cause him trouble 开胶 But he noticed all the co-workers around him were swam 和开 Ryan looked around confused. Does he think his co-workers are freezing him out? In the morning, Yin Huan looked at the sandwich on the desk. He asked the secretary what this is. That's what Zhan made this morning. He gave one to everyone in the secretarial office. He's the young master's ex. Everyone's taking care of him, but he might feel more pressure. He's been bringing everyone food since last time. Yin Huan grumbled again, saying Zhan's just a fling, no need to coddle him. The secretary thought with the young master's personality, he wouldn't let a fling into the company. But the chairman said not to bring up the past. Yin Huan ate the sandwich and said, didn't know Omegas had this kind of talent. After finishing the work briefing, the secretary stepped out and saw Shai. Oh, hello. Didn't expect you'd be here too, secretary. Should have bought 2 cakes if I knew. The secretary said it's fine, no worries, thinking Zhan's so cute. The young master's an idiot for dumping Zhan. Ryan called for Zhan to hurry up and come in. The secretary was also curious how Zhan and the young master got together. This is orange Earl Grey tea cake. Bought it for you to eat after breakfast. Yin Huan smelled that scent again. Always makes him irritated. Did you buy it to win me over? No. I just wanted to give you something you like. Yin Huan asked, wanna know what he really likes? He leaned back in his chair and told Zhan to come over. Zhan swallowed and slowly walked over. Then suddenly got grabbed by Yin Huan like this. Zhan felt it hurt being grabbed. Yin Huan put Zhan on the desk. Said, if you want to seduce someone, you gotta be more assertive. He and his ex keep tangling at the company. Clearly cares, but makes him sad. Now Yin Huan pushed Zhan down on the desk. Zhan said it's a misunderstanding. I'm just being nice. He suddenly said sadly, because Huan from before liked this. Yin Huan felt every word Zhan said annoyed him, but he just can't help it. Smelling the scent, his head clears. What if he explored deeper? Oh, Zhan refused, saying not here. Yin Huan asked, so not here is fine. But sorry I couldn't meet your expectations. Why would I date an Omega? Oh, we were compatible in that way. Even this feels amazing. He suddenly got jealous. Would the old Yin Huan do this too? Yin Huan suddenly looked up at Zhang. Zhang's face was flushed, looking at Yin Huan confused. Yin Huan clicked his tongue and let Zhang go. He even called Zhuan frivolous. Tossed him a handkerchief. He said, well, playing around once in